Good morning. This is Mike Teese with Keller Williams, Citywide, and I'm here today to talk one more form regarding the listing packet, and that is the most important one, the exclusive right to sell agreements. This agreement, we have gone through a number of revisions. Today is Wednesday, September the 18th, and we'll be talking about the final document and what we're going to use going forward. So I'm going to go over the form in general, especially for people that are not familiar with it, as far as how to fill it out, touch on some of the key points, and then I'm going to circle back on one of the issues that was really driving some of the changes, which had to do with the dates on the contract, interacting with the multiple listing service, market time, things like that. But I'm going to save that to the end. So right now, I kind of want to go through the form. We'll talk a little about some of the changes that have taken place, but most importantly, we're going to just talk here in the beginning about how to fill it out. So this is a form that you use to list the property that you have as far as that you're going to sell. And at the very top, it starts out where it obviously lists the property address, the city, zip code, and then also the permanent parcel tax ID number. So let's talk about that. The tax ID number, every property in Ohio has a property ID number that was used for tax purposes, and it corresponds to the address. And you want to make sure that when you do this document that you have both of those on there correctly. How do you find the parcel ID number? A couple of ways. If it's in Cuyahoga County, for instance, you go to the Cuyahoga County Auditor's website, track it down that way through the owner's name, through the address. It is good practice to order a tax and legal from Ohio Real Title, and they will then provide that unique document that will give you that information as well as the property taxes. So that's what the permanent parcel tax ID number is, and that also goes into the multiple listing service. And then obviously you have the list price. So those are the key parts to the very top of it. Then you have the exclusive right to sell clause here, which says that the seller is granting the broker the sole and exclusive right to sell the property from the date of this agreement through midnight on, and then typically that's going to be 6 months from now, 3 months from now. Whatever it is, however you choose to run your business, usually the longer the better. But typical in the business is 6 months. And if you have somebody that wants to negotiate that, then you as an agent will have to decide how you want to handle that and how you want to run your business. One of the benefits of being with Keller Williams is that they give you some flexibility. But obviously, the longer the better. We're in a good, strong market right now as I'm speaking. But when that market changes, you're going to wish you had a 6-month agreement. So the line there that you have is the effective end date. That's when it's going to expire in the multiple listing service. We go down to the next set of lines where it says if the seller sells or exchanges the property at the price and terms stated, or at such other price and terms acceptable to the seller agrees to pay the broker commission of. If you have a dollar sign in the blank line, that dollar sign could be used if you're charging a flat fee. Let's say you're listing a property for $30,000. Typically, we want to have a minimum charge there, and so you might do a flat fee. I mean, a $30,000 sale at 3% on each side, a total of 6 or 7%. That's not a significant amount of money. So there you would either charge a flat fee or maybe a higher percentage. This dollar line is also a place where if you're the type of agent that is charging a transaction fee, like I charge all my sellers a $200 transaction fee, and that's where you would write that. And it's kind of separate from the commission, but there's, for instance, Howard Hanna. They'll list a property and they'll charge a $250 transaction fee that's above and beyond the commission. So that's kind of how you use the dollar sign section. You then come to, it says the dollar sign section, and you have a blank line, and then you have a parentheses box with the percentage sign. So typically what I do is that the blank line, I would spell out the number. Let's say I'm listing property for 7% on the first 100,000, 5% on the balance. So in that blank line, I would write 7% first 100,000, 5% on the balance. I would write it out. And then in the smaller percentage one, I would write 7/5, G, which is graduated. So that's how those two lines are utilized. So that's the top part as far as completing it where you're filling in the blanks. Let's talk a little bit about the way our contract works when it comes to the expiration date. Now, once the contract expires, if during that period of time someone has looked at the property through your efforts, whether it be through an open house or they called you and personally showed it to them, what we're saying here is that after that contract expires, that within 6 months, if one of those people performs, that you're going to, and Keller Williams is going to be paid commission. Now, what does that mean as far as how it works from a logistics standpoint? You really have to put those people on notice as to who those people are. And at the end of the listing agreement, you go, hey, look, this is expired. I showed this property to Jane Doe and Jim Smith on these dates, and if they somehow circle back and buy it without me and directly with you, I'm owed a commission. Now, if they circle back and buy it with, John Smith from Howard Hanna, well, then I'm out of luck. I mean, because they utilize another agent. So that's a little bit about how that next section reads as far as the exclusive period, and so you need to be aware of that. I'm going to skip the next section, and I'm going to go right to the cooperation, which talks about how we as a broker, we cooperate with other brokers. It's going to go into the MLS, and we're going to allow it to be shown by whomever is a real estate agent, with whomever the brokerage is. Our job is to get the home sold for you, and most homes get sold by 2 real estate agents. They could work with the same broker, they could work with separate brokers. Probably 98% of the deals, as much as we'd like to be the only agent involved in probably 98% of the deals get done with 2 agents. Someone representing the buyer, and then you represent the seller of the situation. I'm going to skip down to the second page. Obviously, I'm skipping over authorization to market and fair housing. Like all the forms, you should read these and you should be familiar with what these all talk about so that you can explain it to the seller. Let's go down to the disclosure, which is on page 2. It talks about how the seller agrees to fill out the Ohio State residential property disclosure form for the best of their ability, and that also, if they don't have to, there's only a certain class of people that don't have to, and Ohio Association of Realtors has those listed. Those are the people, for instance, that have been renting the property from their employers, or the people who have inherited the property, never lived in it, being a trustee that the bank, for instance. So there's a very limited amount of people that can not fill out the disclosure. And once again, the disclosure is not a legally binding contract. You fill it out to the best of your ability, and I encourage all people who have any kind of knowledge about the property to fill it out. So that's the disclosure section. It talks here also, so we skip down, it talks about, in that same section, whether or not they know of any reason why they can't deliver the property to a buyer. Like, for instance, they have a divorce decree, and somebody else has dower rights. There's liens against the property. They're upside down against the property and the short sale. These are the questions that you have to ask up front to make sure that you get involved in a property that can deliver, clear title. And if, and sometimes people don't know if they can or not, but some people then do know that they have issues that they need to get taken care of. So that's also what this whole disclosure section is about. And if they don't have any, then there is a line there, and you have to write none. Let's go down to excluded fixtures. These are items attached to the property and are presumed to be conveyed with the sale unless excluded in writing. Seller acknowledges and agrees to ensure that any excluded fixtures or chattel, personal property be conveyed to the buyer are specified by the seller in any purchase agreement. Fixtures seller intends to exclude, and then you're able to then list what those are. They could be the hot tub. They could be, they have a really nice dining room chandelier. They could be certain appliances. So even though those will be put in the MLS, it's good practice to make sure that you put them on the listing agreement so that everybody's aware of what's going on. That family heirloom chandelier in the dining room is best to remove them, prior to going to market. Is that reality? Not always. But the problem that you run into with leaving it is, then the guy pulls it down and replaces it with $50 globe light from Home Depot, and it's not what the buyers were expecting. So just excluded fixtures, need to be listed on here, and then when you list them in the MLS, you need to make it very clear that they are excluded. And then you also need to tell your seller, I can say that they're excluded, you can write it in here that they're excluded, but I can't control a buyer with another agent who says, I don't care that they're excluded, I want to write them in the offer, and then we're going to have to deal with it in the negotiation. So, best practices is to remove those items. It's not always feasible, and I think that you can do your job setting up what the worst case scenario could be. You've done your job. Home warranty is the next section. Either they're going to select to do a home warranty, or they're going to select not to do one. Obviously, there's a very detailed brochure that they can look at ahead of time to kind of get a feel for what the benefits are for them as a seller, but then also for what the buyer's going to get and what the cost is going to be. So, once again, whether they choose to or not, you have to check what it is that the choice is in the listing. Come down to inspections, and here's another good tip to know. Many communities have what they call point of sale inspections, code compliance, things like that. And so, as a listing agent, especially when you're dealing with investment property like multifamilies, it's just good for you, and it's good practice for you as an agent to make sure that you're on top of the various cities, and if there are any inspections, once you put under contract, that kind of would be a list of violations. There's certain cities out there that will have exterior inspections as part of the sale, and they'll just make everybody on notice that these are the problems and they need to be addressed, or they can be assumed by the buyer. But you really need to know that. The last thing that you want to be involved in is a sale on a property in a city, and both you and the other agent have no idea that the city has some sales to having to inspect the property before it closes, and running that towards the end of the escrow, and it becomes an issue. So don't be that agent that doesn't understand what's going on in the city that you're selling business, because ultimately it will touch poorly on you, and quite frankly, it will touch poorly on us as a something new in the document also is the electronic surveillance devices. This is a new clause. And basically what it says is that the seller either does or does not have some sort of a camera type security system in their house. And you're going to check one of those. And what you're going to say is that if you don't have one, okay, no problem. Let's move on. If you do have one, it says here that Ohio law provides that the seller cannot use electronic, mechanical, or any other device to listen, record, or otherwise acquire the content of oral communications or of other persons without the consent of at least one party to the communication. And that it is not practical to obtain consent from all parties who may be entering the property showings, open houses, inspections, appraisals, contractors. The seller agrees to disable the audio function of any surveillance device in advance of any such access by third parties. So that's something new. It's a brand new world. And so, once again, you need to review this. You need to find out exactly from them whether or not they have that or not. And you then need to, obviously check the appropriate parties. You've done your job. If, for instance, they choose to ignore that and they have audio and they do audio, and somehow that becomes an issue, we should cover it, and, we instructed them that it should be on. So, we're pretty much, everything. That is something brand new, and so it is another box that needs to be checked and we need to be aware of. Let's go to the third and final page, which talks about the escrow electronic data security. Kind of cover that with the phishing document, but once again, it just talks about that there's what monies that are going to be wired by all parties, or when you're a seller, you're typically not going to be wiring money that you're going to do that's going to be wired to. It's just really talking about how, hey, we as agents are going to give you that information. That's going to come from the people that are going to make it secure. And that's typically going to be the title company or the banks. But we as a broker, we as an agent, that has nothing to do with us, and we will never be involved in that. We'll never tell you what to do. We'll never give you wiring instructions. So that's the electronic data security. Lastly, it says it's a binding agreement. And this is a binding agreement. And if they have any questions about it, they should consult. You get down to the end to where they sign it, and you sign it as well. Let's talk a little bit about some of the scenarios, and I've probably gone over in other documents. But listing agreement, listing of property. If someone is married, both clients need to sign all documents as part of the listing agreement. Even if John Smith has owned the property for 10 years, he gets married to Jane, and Jane doesn't own the property in title. She has dollar rights in Ohio, and if a year later he goes, hey, we want to sell this place, we want to buy a place that's our own, and that's great. She needs to sign off on those documents. All documents, not just a listing agreement, but the fishing scale, consumer guide, et cetera, et cetera. She needs to sign off on it. Somebody's divorced, okay, and typically we're dealing with one particular person who's kind of carrying the ball, so to speak, as far as getting it done. They both need to agree on everything, and they both need to sign. So if in the middle of a divorce, that's the case. If they're divorced, and in the divorce decree they're splitting the proceeds, it's the same thing. You need not only them to sign everything, but they need to agree on everything. They need to agree on the list price. They need to ultimately agree on the sales price. So it can make your job difficult, but you need to understand that. You need to know who you're dealing with. That's why it's good to have a tax and legal. You're meeting with John Smith at the property, and he says he owns it. You go, this says it's owned by JL LLC. Well, I'm president of JLLC. Okay, great. I need to get a copy of your operating agreement that shows that you have the right to sell it. John Smith might go, this is my mother's house, and I have power of attorney. And she passed away. She's a merchant, and we want to sell it. Great. I need a copy of the power of attorney that shows that you're authorized to sell it. So you need to be aware of who you're dealing with and who's signing things, and proper documentation in place. So those are the main points that I wanted to go over. It's a short document, and some of the things that I didn't go over, you need to be on top of, and you need to read and understand. The more that you understand these forms, the more confident you will be in front of your clients. So the one area that I didn't cover that I want to talk about is that we have gone through a number of things in the Market Center as far as trying to get this form to allow us to list the property and get the client to sign today on September the 18th and have him say that I'm going to be ready to go to market on September the 25th. And therefore, that's when we go to market. So what our big concern about there has been the way our contract was and where our contract is now, the date that they put their signature on a fixed date, September the 18th, saying I'm not going to be ready until the 25th. The effective date of the contract starting is September the 18th. And so what does that mean? So that means when you put in the multi-listing service, and to do it correctly, on September the 25th, you're entering a contract date and an initial start date of September the 18th. And when you push that magic button that says we're going live, it's going to show up with 7 days worth of market time. And market time is a big deal in our industry. Nobody likes to have market time. And certainly nobody likes to start a contract and go into the MLS with accumulated market time. So we try to get around that in several ways, but we do have certain people that help have a say in how we run our business. So, NeoRex, the MLS is one of them. And we made a switch to where we had start and end dates, and that didn't adequately cover all of our needs. And so we've gone back to the old way. So this is what we're looking at. You sign somebody up right away and you're ready to go, you got no issues. You're going into the system within a day or two, showing up with a reasonable amount of market time to start with. It could be zero. If it's signed this morning, you're ready to go, you go into the system, it's zero market time. Okay? Or it goes in tomorrow or Friday, it shows up in 1 or 2 days. So if you want to get someone to sign a contract today, and if they're not ready to go, but you want to lock them down contractually, they sign it today, you really have two options right now to not officially be on the market. You can, number one, you can set them up as a coming soon listing and put it in the system and realize that it's not going to go active until the 25th, in the example that I showed, sign it today on the 18th. And in that situation, on the 25th, it'll go active with zero market time. Okay? So your one option is you do it as a coming soon. The other option is you do it as a temporarily off the market. So let me read that. And this is where on the first page there's some initial boxes about halfway down that I didn't discuss, and it says initial if elected. Seller directs broker to enter the property into the multiple listing service and to place it into a temporarily off market status, including for the purposes of preparing the property for market. Seller directs property made active in the MLS status on a certain date or sooner upon seller's written instruction. Seller understands and agrees that no marketing or showings will occur during the temporary off-market time, same as coming soon, and that the days on market will accrue in accordance with MLS rules. So that days on market will accrue, so what that means is you block them up contractually because you're concerned that you want to get them to commit on paper. You can choose to do it this way. In the example that I just gave, sign today on the 18th, and you make it temporarily off the market, and it goes on the market on the 25th. It goes on the market on the 30th. The difference between the 18th and the day that you make it active, it's going to show up as having days on market. So going back to my example of the coming soon, you get it temporarily off the market to active on the 25th. You've got 7 days with the market. So it's less than ideal, but it's quite frankly the best that we can do. And it's something that we just at this point have to deal with. And this is, the Market Center spent a lot of time and resources with our attorney to try and make this right. Because in a perfect world, we wanted to be able to get them signed today, saying we're not, going to go to market until this date, and then put it in there on that date with zero market time. And it didn't work with the MLS. And quite frankly, it didn't cover us as far as that period of time between when they sign and when it starts, effective date, to protect you as agents, to where somebody else can come to talk to them and get them to sign up, and then call you and go, yeah, I know I signed it yesterday, but it's not effective until the 25th, and I'm going to do it with somebody else, and you don't really know the week. So that's my understanding, and I just want to get that out there to everybody. Obviously, if you have any questions, you can direct them to Janet Martin, and we can take them out in the basis. But like I said, we spent a lot of time and effort on this, and this is what we have decided is the best way to go forward. So that's it, and sorry for the long video, but this is an important document, and we appreciate you guys taking the time to educate yourself. Thank you very much.